I recently got into shamanic journeying, but I was not sure which direction to head in after the first time. March 7th, 2017, Second Shamanic Journey. 30 minutes shamanic drumming meditation. When I entered the lower world, the first environment I was immersed in was a thick jungle. I eventually came to a tree with snakes sitting on a branch. I had the idea of poison in my head for some reason. I continued walking, and then climbed a very large tree from within the jungle. When I got on top, I took in my surroundings. It was the same lower world I had seen before. I was in the forest, and I could see the hill, which was also a pyramid which had the tomb/chamber underneath it from first experience. I jumped off the top of the tree and towards a pink fast-flowing river. When I was in the air, I felt like I was joined by a flock of birds. When I broke through the surface of the water, I felt like I had joined a school of fish. We swam up the river into the forest for a while. We eventually reached a cavern where I hopped out of the river. In this cavern alongside the river there was a rock shaped like cat's eye. It became night. As I turned around to see where the path away from the cavern led, I saw a cat, gold with green eyes, that I met in my first journey. Instinctively I followed her and she led me up a passage that wound up a forested cliff towards a peak. There, waiting at the top, was majestic stag. Brown, but almost black, with piercing light coming from his eyes. The three of us looked out over the cliff from the forest at the bright moon. Then, something happened to me. I felt the urge to join my animal friends and revel in the moment, and as I let out a howl, I shapeshifted into Coyote. I howled again and the three of us jumped off the cliff and started running through the dark, wet, beautiful night. Running felt good as Coyote, and I felt that this was the sensation these two animal friends were trying to show me. When we stopped running, I began dancing as Coyote, but slowly transforming back to human. As I danced in the dark grassy field at night, tornadoes formed around me and lightning struck ground between them. I admired the power of the elements, and the power of this world. With strong movement in my arms, driven by my whole body, I pushed the clouds out of the sky, and night turned into day. The image of the sun that filled the sky was the same cat's eye that had shaped the rock in the cavern. Only now it was the size of 1,000,000 planets, burning with the heat of life, peering down into this warm grassy world. I turned around again, and Cat was waiting for me in the grass. It was light out now, warm and dry. Once again I became Coyote to keep up with her, this time as she led me across the grassy plains. We got to the top of a plateau where we could see over a valley. It was an oasis flourishing with life provided by the sun in the sky. I called to make out all the animals, because there were so many. There was elephant, monkey, human, gazelle, eagle, bear, mouse, wolf, and more that I remember seeing from afar, all living in harmony. Just as I took a breath in, witnessing this sight, the drum called me back. I returned up through my passage that brought me here.